Ready to install the storage devices. I will show you guys how to install an M.2 SSD, a traditional 2.5-inch SSD, and a hard drive. But for now, we are only doing an M.2 SSD. Take a look at the read and write speeds on the box to determine which one is the fastest. Installing the fastest M.2 SSD on the first slot means that your operating system is going to be installed on that drive, and it's going to impact how fast your PC boots. It's also going to impact how fast your applications and games load up as well, which is why I recommend putting the fastest drive in the first slot. So go ahead and locate the top M.2 SSD slot on your motherboard. And in some mid-range and high-end boards, you will have a heat shield covering it, which is completely normal. This is where the precision screwdriver kit that I recommended earlier comes in handy, because the screws for these are always very tiny, and you're gonna need small bits to remove it. Start by removing the 2 screws from the heat shield. Some motherboards don't have screws and instead use latches like the one featured in this video, so do keep that in mind. Once the heat shield is removed, go ahead and peel the plastic sleeve from the thermal pads right now, so that we don't forget to do it later. If you look at your M.2 SSD, you will see a small gap on one side. We're going to align that gap with the notch on the M.2 slot on the motherboard, and then afterwards gently slide it in, just like on the weekend nights. Depending on the motherboard, you will either have to screw in the other end or simply use a latch system and lock it in place. If you have to screw it in, you can find the small screw inside the motherboard box. So take that out of the bag and install it before covering it back up with the armor plate. Now, if your M.2 SSD has a built-in heatsink, then you have the option of not using the included armor on your motherboard. You can just follow the same installation process as before and leave the armor piece out. Do keep in mind, this might look a little weird, but if you're okay with how it looks, then you can proceed. Alternatively, you can remove the heatsink. Usually there are tiny screws on the side that you can unscrew before sliding out the heatsink. In some other cases, you might have to use a pry bar and detach the heatsink before sliding out the drive. Luckily, the screwdriver kit I mentioned earlier has an included pry bar that can help in this situation. If you're installing a second M.2 SSD, just repeat the same process for however many drives you're installing, and then we can move on to